Hello, welcome to Planetary Evolution, a space to discuss our path to peace and consciousness. I'm your host, Jared Angaza. Guns for hunting. This is the one I hear the most when I'm saying all my anti-gun stuff. Why, while we're hunters, we gotta have guns for hunting. All right, let's discuss that. This is the one that derails the whole anti-gun discussion most often, so I feel as though it's worth the discussion. Let's start with one particular one that gets me more than anything else. Hunting for sport. Again, I like to get to the root of things and just call things what they are, but you're saying I like to kill stuff. I like to kill living beings. I like to look at a being and kill it. I am hunting for sport. It's like retail therapy. I'm shopping for therapy. Are you kidding me? When did that become a recreational activity? Shopping. Anyway, I digress. If you're hunting for sport, it means you're literally going out, and I'm sitting here looking at this beautiful, gorgeous woods in front of me, imagining many live creatures out there enjoying their day. And then I'm going to come in and shoot them because it's fun. That's it. That's why we do sports. It's fun. Why else do it, really? I don't put that kind of mentality in any different box than I do the average sociopathic serial killer or anything else. It looks different. It's more socially acceptable to kill, say, a squirrel or a deer or whatever than it is a human. And again, if you must, please kill a deer. But I don't feel that we must, especially if your point is to kill for sport. Let's also think about it like this. A lot of times what these guys, I'm being kind and not labeling, hunters that hunt for sport, they're going out there, they're saying, yes, but it's just an animal. Okay, let's take that and pick it apart. 99% of the time, that guy, it's usually a guy, has a dog. Now, what if I came over to that guy's house and killed his dog? Oh, hell no. I mean, then we're at war because I killed his animal. He's picking up on the hypocrisy there. It's just an animal. Okay, fine. It is an animal. How would we just say it is an animal? It is not a human, whether not just an animal or whatever. It is an animal. Your dog is an animal. Your cat is an animal. Your freaking parakeet or whatever, and the deer, and the goat, and the cow, and all these things are animals. Okay, and we're killing them, and we're saying, okay, well, this one's okay to kill, and this one's not okay to kill. I guess it just depends on who you are and where you live and what culture you're in as to whether or not it's okay to kill that particular animal. Obviously, if you go to India, the cow is sacred, and here we treat cows. We don't even call them cows. We call them a beef or call them a whatever. I mean, it's a hamburger with legs. We've taken the living beingness out of that creature and just said it's a commodity or it's a target. So killing for sport, I feel, is sociopathic behavior. Leave it at that. If you're keeping score, we sort of just blew the whole it's just an animal thing out of the water, I hope. Okay, next is the argument of hunting for food. It's more complicated, a little bit more multi-layered. I believe that most of the time people say that it's a cop-out because it's not true. And a lot of times they're just saying, oh, I'm hunting for food. And they're like, well, maybe not. Maybe you're going to eat it, fine. But it's not like your sole source of food. It's not like you're like, oh, well, Edna, if we don't go out in the forest and kill us a deer today, we're not going to eat this week. That's not the case. You're still going to Costco and, whatever. You're doing it, you're eating it because it happens to be there dead in front of you and you feel, well, okay, I'll eat it. Fine. Okay, now there's the other side of that. And I have friends, I have good friends that will kill a couple of deer or cows, if they're, their own cows or whatever, and they do that, and they live off of that as their meat source. Now, I'm vegan. We can have that discussion at some point, but at the end of the day, even as a vegan, I don't believe that eating an animal is wrong, inherently or intrinsically. I believe that the meat industry is wrong. That's why I'm a vegan. That the meat industry is destroying our planet. That's another episode. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I believe, my life is very much kind of, I shouldn't say governed, but I subscribe to the ways of the American Indian and specifically the Lakota and so on. Check out my website. It's what I teach, if you're interested. Let's take that culture. Let's just take the Lakota for instance, because that's one I'm most familiar with and most studied on. So their belief or their way with the animals and with killing an animal is, and let's just take one particular situation with Tatanka, the buffalo. So with the buffalo, there was, in that killing of the buffalo, there was a process. It started with prayer, it started with respect, and it said, I am going to go out and in a relationship with this animal, I am going to ask this animal if it will give its life for my family and for our sustenance. And we're going to use everything. The hide, the tendons, everything was going to be used. That's respect. I respect you, mighty animal, because you are bigger and mightier than I. And I beg of you to give your life such that my family can survive. And that was the process. And the belief was that the buffalo would then say, yes, I will give my life to you. I will sacrifice myself for you. That was a benevolent act from that animal. That is a very, very different situation than what we typically see with the average hunter that just goes out and from long range with a rifle, it's dead, go pick it up. Not a lot of sport in that, or not a lot of respect in that. My feeling is that there, with the Lakota way, and it could be anyone at this point, but with the Lakota way and the buffalo, the bison, the mighty Tatanka, there was a symbiotic relationship. They lived together. They needed each other. The buffalo roamed, and the buffalo was this mighty creature. And you can put that, any animal in that, whether it's a deer or a squirrel or a friggin' raccoon or whatever. It is a creature, a living being. And we are saying, okay, I'm saying, if you're going to kill that being, let it be with respect. Let it be in this relationship with that animal. And if you're going to eat it, or whatever. And if you must hunt for that reason, and with that, do it with respect, man. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. If you're going to hunt that animal, okay, let's just keep with the Lakota scenario for right now, for all you manly hunters out there. I must be man and kill things and whatever. Crazy. Anyway, if you must, think about it like this. Okay, there's a buffalo, goes running by. There's a guy with a rifle. Dead buffalo. Wow, good job, Jim. You really did an amazing thing there. Versus, there's a buffalo. There are buffalo out there. There's a dude over here that cut down a tree, that spent many, many months treating that wood and getting it ready to craft a bow, and using a tendon, theoretically from another buffalo, that is used to pull back that string, and an arrow, and you get the idea, all the things that go into that sort of ceremonial process, very sacred and respectful process, prayerful. And then that mighty Tatanka goes running across. And this guy goes either on foot, which is more complicated, usually under a wolf skin, or by way of horse or something, and kills this mighty buffalo running by with a bow and arrow. Holy crap, that's going to make headlines. I mean, we're going to be talking about that for a long time. That's impressive. That is leveling the playing field a bit. A bit. You have mighty Tatanka, guy with a gun. I mean, who cares how mighty the Tatanka is if this guy's got a long-range, powerful rifle? Who cares? It means nothing. But the guy's got a bow and arrow. Now we've got a match. Now we've got something worth watching. Something that, and beyond that, beyond the impressiveness of it all, I feel that it is more in line with that symbiotic relationship and the way that we were created to live with animals. If the meat industry looked like that, it would be an entirely different thing, but it doesn't. We know what it looks like, and we don't need to get into that. Guns for hunting. I still think it's ridiculous. It's how cheap is it? It's like a cheap lap dance, and you just go out and tap, 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 tap. I'm just killing things with my gun. Psychotic, frankly. My feeling is, if you must, and if you are literally going to respect that animal, prayerfully go into that situation. Use a bow or a spear or a knife or something, for God's sake. But a gun, how cheap is that? Do it with respect, or don't do it at all. That's my feeling about hunting in general. Not that we really live in a society where we have to hunt. If you are so compelled, then at least do it with respect. I hope you're thriving. And I wish you strength and peace on your path to evolving into love.